Welcome to the City Council meeting for Monday, November 16th. First item of business is the certificate of election of office for City Council, Sean Meskey, 4th Ward. I'm going to make sure I get it right, and I've got Kevin reminding me because I've been saying it wrong for a long time. So, Sean and our Honorable Judge, Kevin.
Good evening. I would like to extend a welcome to everyone, Mayor Calvin, members of the council, our distinguished guest, Judge Spilseth, our viewing audience, and of course our members at home. I would like to invite our newly elected council member up front. The City of Willmar conducted a special election on November 10th, 2015, which resulted in the citizens of the Ward 4 electing a council member to the unexpired term ending January 9th, 2017. As City Clerk and Chief Official in charge of voting, I would like to take this opportunity to present a certificate of election to Mr. Meskey. The certificate reads, I, Kevin Halliday, City Clerk of the City of Willmar and State of Minnesota, do hereby certify that at a special election held in said city and state on Tuesday, being the 10th day of November 2015, Sean Meskey received the highest number of votes cast for the office of Council Member, 4th Ward in the City of Willmar, State of Minnesota, and was therefore duly elected to said office as appears from the official election returns and canvass on file in my office. Congratulations, sir. Now we have the oath of office.
Mr. Meskey, I am going to administer the oath as a district court judge. I'll ask you to raise your right hand and read after me the oath of office. It reads as follows. I, Sean Meskey.
I, Sean Meskey.
Do solemnly swear.
Do solemnly swear.
That I will support the constitutions.
That I will support the constitutions.
Of the United States and of the state of Minnesota.
Of the United States and the state of Minnesota.
And the Willmar City Charter.
And the Willmar City Charter.
And that I will discharge faithfully.
And I will discharge faithfully.
The duties of the office of the City of Willmar.
Duties of the office of the City of Willmar.
To the best of my judgment and ability.
To the best of my judgment and ability.
You are hereby sworn in. Congratulations.
Congratulations, Councilmember Meskey. Welcome aboard. We'll now call the meeting to order. Roll call.
Mayor Calvin.
Here.
Councilmember Christensen.
Here.
Anderson.
Here.
Amon. Nelson.
Here.
Meskey.
Present.
Plowman.
Here.
Johnson.
Here.
Fagerly.
Here.
8 present, 1 absent.
Stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Are there any proposed additions or deletions to the agenda?
Mr. Mayor?
Councilmember Fagerly?
I have 2, or it could be an extended one.
Okay. What would you?
Historic 313 and the parade on Saturday.
Historic 313. Anything else? Okay, we'll go to the consent items. Under consent items, we have a number of items listed. Are there any, is there a motion to approve those?
Move to approve.
Motion been made and seconded. Discussion. Councilmember Nelson.
Just a question on item B, the labor relations minutes from October 30th. The documents that were presented that we voted on are not attached to the minutes, and Just seeking clarification on that.
If we can remove those, I'll discuss that after we approve the rest. Is that all right with you?
That's fine.
Anything else? So we're pulling item B. So other than that, is any other discussion? All those in favor of everything except item B on the consent agenda items, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion does carry. Councilmember Nelson, those are not attached. We are still working with the labor attorney on getting that clarified. And there are 3 items that need to be looked into. And we wanted to bring that back to the full council before we brought that to the full council for approval. One item is the Community Development Director position for our Planning and Development Director's name on that document. We want that corrected. So that's one thing we would like to correct. Another thing is that on the issue of the MSRS as an investment option, if the employees choose to use that venue, of adding that piece, that would be the second item. And then the third item is that it was brought forward after we had presented to council that on the sick leave, the 6% interest earnings does not give the employees the option of having 90 days to evaluate that. So it'd be the recommendation of the subcommittee that those 3 changes would be considered by council, and then that would be reflected in the documents. Councilmember Nelson.
So just clarification, how do we approve the minutes tonight if the documents that we voted on aren't attached? Should we be tabling these minutes until the documents are available, or what are we doing?
I think it would be appropriate to table those if you wish to do so until we had the corrected documents. Again, we could not have the documents in front of you because they were not given to us in other than a PDF file, so.
Is that, are we jeopardizing anything else if we table them? Or I just don't understand how we can approve them when they're not attached.
Mayor,
Attorney
members of the council, I don't see any reason you could not table these minutes if there's still some uncertainty about what the final documents will look like.
I'll make a motion that we table the minutes.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to table the minutes of the Labor Relations. Discussion? No, there's no discussion on the table. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion does carry. You have in front of you, for information only, an application for appointment to the Community Ed and Rec Board for Sally Calvin. Sally Calvin is a daycare provider, an in-home daycare provider. We do not have that demographic represented currently on the Community Ed and Rec Board, so she has applied for that position. Also, there are appointments for the Human Rights Commission. We have 4 individuals who have filled out applications. And so, as the council has requested in the past, this information is being brought to you, and then it will be held over for 2 weeks and then voted on at that time. So that's where we're at on that process. So.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
On the Human Rights Commission, we had one years ago, and it's been dormant for years because we found out there's basically nothing they can do. They have no power. So what has changed?
There is the ability to have the Human Rights Commission. It was something that I had mentioned early on in my campaign and also mentioned after I'd taken over as mayor back in January that I wanted to reestablish this. This is getting the information out so that people are aware that we are looking at reestablishing the Human Rights Commission. In the absence of a Human Rights Commission, it defaults back to the council.
I'm just wondering, what are they going to do?
Councilmember Anderson is the rep at this point. I know he's going to some training. I believe it's next month. I think it's good to have a Human Rights Commission. Councilmember Anderson, if you want to address it, that's certainly fine.
And I don't, yeah, there is a training in December that I may go to. I may have a conflict with an EDC thing, but I think it's going to be pretty much wide open what we're going to have this group do. They'd be some sort of an advisory group, and I think there's going to take some thought as to how we put this together and what we do. We need to do it the right way. So I don't have a lot of information.
Okay, thanks.
Okay.
Actually, I served on the Human Rights Commission about 15 years ago, I suppose. And it was, at the time, a conduit to get concerns from folks to bring them to the council who may not otherwise have done it by themselves. And it's one of those that's protected, and the state of Minnesota is a protected class because they may bring up things that might be painful for others to hear. So I think there's been, at least what I was just hearing from folks, at least in Ward 4 as I was out campaigning, is that seeing that back in place would be something that was desirable, and that there are some concerns that are out there that perhaps are not being heard. So it's the opportunity maybe to start that dialogue.
Okay. Councilmember Christensen, then Nelson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Maybe prior to this commission beginning or taking force, we should lay out some goals or some mission for them. You know, just to have a Human Rights Commission, it just, we're going to meet, well, what are our goals and what is our mission? Maybe we should discuss that at one of our committee meetings and come up with some kind of goals and mission. I mean, otherwise it's wide open, and there's, what's the chair going to say? That's my thoughts.
Councilmember Nelson.
I think it might be helpful to review what they did when they were previously established here with the council, but also I know other cities have them, and so maybe we could ask for some research and some information from maybe the League of Minnesota Cities with how they operate in other communities, because I do believe there is a need out there and fits in with some of the things that were brought up about communication and public relations and all sorts of things. So.
Okay. Councilmember Anderson.
You know, I think it's probably appropriate that we have a little bit of a discussion on it, and as the delegate to that committee, I will work on that, and we'll bring it to whatever committee it needs to go to, be it community development or whatever. I will try to put some things together, and perhaps Kevin can get me some information. We will do that relatively soon, because I think we probably want to try to get this going shortly after the first of the year.
Okay. Councilmember Nelson.
Just in essence of time, could it just be brought back to the council meeting in a couple of weeks and have a presentation there so that we all hear it?
We certainly could do that. We do need at least 7 people. We only have 4 people that have expressed an interest at this point. So
I just meant the information.
Sure, sure. Yeah. Or else we could go to community development. That way we'd go through our committee process.
Just wasn't sure when we're meeting next.
I'm not sure either.
Okay.
December sometime.
Okay. We'll gather information. Councilmember Anderson will gather information, bring it back to us in some form. Okay. Next is the Labor Relations Report. Councilmember Anderson, are you doing that? Councilmember Amon isn't here. He sent me a message he was not going to be here, but did not say who he delegated that to, so.
Oh, well, I certainly can. Give me a half a second here. All right. Labor Relations Committee met on Thursday, November 5th at 4:45. First item was called to order. Second item was a health insurance cost-sharing policies. Now it's for information only. Interim City Administrator Kevin Halliday presented information to the committee relating to health insurance premium cost-sharing. He pointed out that the rate for the prior to 2012 employees varies between bargaining groups due to contract language and the fact that in the 2015, the premium costs actually decreased by 5%. The AFSCME contract stated the employer will contribute up to $1,428 toward the cost of monthly premium for family coverage under the basic plan as noted for 2014, and contract language was not detailed for a premium decrease. The recent offer to the non-represented employees policy reflect a stated $14.28 per month employer share, but union employees are stated to pay a higher cost share due to the calculations of a 2015 calendar year decrease. Took a long time for us to get that straight, but we did when we took that for information only. The next item was closed session. There was a motion made and seconded and passed to go into closed session. The meeting was closed at 4:57. At 5:53, there was a motion made, seconded, and passed to open the meeting, which we did. The next item on our agenda was to establish a recognition process. Councilmember Amon made a recommendation to the committee that the mayor establish a recognition process for community members and/or people who have served on our boards and commissions and council members of community involvement to be presented to the council for recognition of services. This item was referred to the mayor for him to work on. Unless there's questions, I would move to file these minutes.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to file the minutes. Discussion. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion does carry. Next, we have Public Works Safety. Councilmember Christensen.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We did meet on Tuesday, November 10th at 4:45 at City Hall. There was nobody there for public comment, so we went to item 3, which was our biweekly police update. Our police chief, Mr. Felt, noted that the jail census for that particular day was 162. 86 were from the Department of Corrections, 73 from Kennewick County, 3 from Swift County. Calls for service since October 27th total 763, and that leaves us 23 days ahead of last year at the same time. Majority of the calls were for traffic stops, public assists, and thefts. The 2 new officers will be completing their final 4 sections of field training in December. And our committee discussed the possible impact of the Kennewick County Jail and what it would face if the Appleton Prison reopened. Chief Felt also expressed gratitude for all who voted for the K-9 contest with the Willmar Police Department. We ranked number 8 nationally. The department had received $200 in private donations and $5,000 from Genio for vests for the 2 K-9 dogs. A media event will be scheduled when the vests are delivered for fitting. He also brought up that 3 people were arrested in the robbery of Sunray Express, and a warrant was issued for the juvenile involved. An officer was injured in an assault by a woman he was attempting to arrest in the early hours of November 8th, and the woman was tased and apprehended by a backup officer. Possible solutions to prevent four-wheeling in Robbins Island Park was also discussed. The positive impact of the department's Facebook page was noted with the community involvement on the posts to help solve crimes. The possibility of an increase in thefts in the last year were discussed, and the increase in calls being due to family services reporting. The committee discussed shelter options for males affected by domestic abuse and the resources, safe avenues, and life right offers for them. That was for information only. Our next item is a resolution. Staff brought to our committee for approval the acceptance of project number 1301B and authorizing final payment to Dunnick in the amount of $111,255.88. We entered into an agreement with them on May 6, 2013 for reconstruction of 2nd Street Southeast, 6th Street Southwest, Havana Street Northeast, and the Block 42 parking lot. Final pay request with quantities is hereby submitted for consideration. It's just under the contract. The delay in the project was due to the late spring start on 2nd Street. After some discussion, motion was made, seconded, passed for the following, and I will introduce the resolution to approve the acceptance of project number 1301B and authorize final payment to Dunnick in the amount of $111,255.88.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded. Discussion. Roll call.
Councilmember Christensen.
Aye.
Anderson.
Aye.
Nelson.
Aye.
Meske.
Aye.
Plowman.
Aye.
Johnson. Aye. Fagerly.
Aye.
7 ayes, 0 nays.
The motion passes.
Item number 5 is for information only. It was a Public Works update. Sean Christensen brought to us updates on the activities that the Public Works Department has been doing. Seasonal staff is done for the year as of November 6th. Various tasks in the department, including removing docks, Cheryl Simmels on L Avenue, prepping snow equipment for winter use, and the newly updated Selvig Park. The brush site will be closing for the season on November 21st. Our committee also discussed the usage of the dog park, the yellow bike program, and various repair items at the auditorium. If there's no other further business to come, there was no further business to come before the committee, and if there are no questions or comments, I will move to file the minutes.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to file the minutes. Discussion. Seeing and hearing none, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. The motion does carry. Community Development Report, Councilmember Fagerly.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We met on Thursday, November 12th at 4:45. Item 2 is public comments. There was no public comments. Item 3, EDC Perspective Project. Mr. Rehnquist, Executive Director of the City and County Economic Development Commission, informed the committee that the city has an opportunity to recruit a business to the city that is currently operating elsewhere in the county. The business is strongly considering a move from its present location and has received much interest from the metropolitan area. The business currently has local and Florida operations. The company has expressed interest in Willmar, but has raised questions about economic development tools and incentives. They are looking for a commercial, non-industrial site. State programs will be investigated. However, the city may be asked to consider tax increment financing or tax abatement. This was for information only, and Mr. Rehnquist will keep us updated. Item 4, Midwest Technology Campus Tax Abatement. Staff provided background information about the development of the Midwest Technology Campus and the benefits of Job Z and tax abatement in assisting in that growth. It has been proposed that the parcels that were in the Job Z program be considered for a new tax abatement. The current city portion of real estate taxes for the Job Z parcels is approximately $41,600 per year. Jim Sieben, campus president, presented information showing the growth of tax base and employment at Midwest. As of today, there are 450 employees and 32 companies operating on the campus. There has been $16 million invested in the campus to date. A significant additional investment for the future is planned. Mr. Sieben also presented information depicting the monetary value of employees to the community and related that information to the job growth on the campus. Mr. Sieben said that the campus, although on the right track, has not yet turned the corner on profitability. He requested a 10-year tax abatement on those parcels that are coming out of the Job Z program. The county and school district will be asked to participate in the abatement also. The committee discussed the past use of Job Z and tax abatement on the campus. The success of the campus redevelopment was noted. Staff was asked for its recommendations, and staff recommended that the council pursue a business subsidy agreement for a 10-year abatement with the terms to be determined by the council and to include job creation and capital investment goals. A motion was made and passed that the council pursue a business subsidy agreement for a 10-year tax abatement at 100% of the city's portion of taxes on the former Job Z parcels. Also, that goals be included in the business subsidy agreement requiring the creation of 175 new jobs. They were asking for 150, but we negotiated to 175, and an additional $8 million in capital investment by the end of the 10-year period. And also, if this approves, to hold a public subsidy hearing for December 7th, 2015. And I will introduce that motion.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to introduce a tax abatement for Midwest Technology Campus. Discussion. Councilman Christensen?
That's for a hearing, correct?
Correct.
For December.
December 6th.
Yeah.
Additional discussion? All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. The motion does carry.
Item 5, Industrial Park Update. Staff brought the committee up to date regarding development of the Willmar Industrial Park 4th Edition on the west side of County State Aid Highway 5. It was noted that the northern two-thirds of the plat have been completed with curb and gutter and a first course of bituminous. The balance of the work will be completed in the spring of 2016. That work was delayed due to soil conditions. The committee was also informed about a contact from out of the county company interested in moving a business with 30 employees into the newest edition of the park. Let's see, there's the staff. Also outline the possible route for a future railroad spur and opportunities for rail-based development on the west side of the expanded industrial park. Item 6, construction update. Staff presented information about construction values to date in 2015 and offered a projection that values would be significantly higher in 2016. Item 7, new business. The committee discussed local economic development relationships involving the city, EDC, Chamber of Commerce, the Willmar Area Development Corporation, and Vision 2040 Group. On a final matter, the committee requested that the staff review the industrial park listing agreement and bring forth a recommendation for changes if warranted. And if there's no questions, I move to file these minutes.
Motion made and
Second.
motion been made and seconded to file the minutes. Discussion. Hearing and seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. The motion does carry. Announcement of committee meeting dates.
Thought we had some, thought Rick asked to have something added to the agenda. Councilmember Fagerly had asked for 2 items.
Correct, yep. We have 2 items added to the agenda. You want to do that now or after announcement of committee dates?
I can do that now.
Okay, 313.
All right. We had an open house for Historic 313 on Monday, October 26th, and no one talked about it 2 weeks ago, so
Oh,
I was
okay.
asked to talk about it.
Sure.
So from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m., there was a morning and afternoon bus tour of the Midwest Greenhouse. They also viewed the new acreage for the community garden at this Midwest, and then drove by the proposed area for additional greenhouse space at the food shelf site in town here. There was a light lunch with a free will offering, and everything there was grown and produced in Minnesota, and it was pretty good. In total, we had 300-plus people, which included the Lieutenant Governor Tina Smith, state legislatures from the metro area, and our own Dave Baker and Senator Lyle Coonan. Former Rep. Al Junkie was there from U.S. Senator Al Franken's office, plus directors from 15 different state agencies and other officials from the surrounding 8-county area. Cañon County Commissioners and some of the Willmar City staff, council were present. And thank you, Audrey and Dennis. This project, when completed, should create a minimum of 25 new full-time jobs and create 5 new businesses in downtown Willmar. Bev Dotery and Jeff Mattson did a very good job planning this event and working on this project. A big thank you goes out to them and to the members of the Downtown Development Committee.
Thank you. Yes, I was unable to attend that event as I had another event, and thank you for covering that for me, so I appreciate that.
No problem.
Holidays Parade.
All right, that is coming up, the Holiday Parade, Saturday, November 21st, 2 p.m. The parade starts at 6:30. There's going to be lots of activities for the entire family. Santa and Mrs. Claus will be there at the barn. And also, I received an email that Rice Hospital will be sponsoring the informational booth and will be handing out glow-in-the-dark cheer sticks to the first 1,500 people. So get there early, but it should be a fun time. And this is brought to you from the Downtown Development Committee.
Perfect, thank you, thank you. On that note as well, Rice Hospital is working on their expansion for their Rice Rehab Center. Councilmember Nelson and I attended the Rice Gala on Friday evening. It was very well attended. There was a fundraising effort to fund the new outdoor recreation area that will have different areas. But I would just encourage the community and also the council to provide support to that project. It's a $1.5 million project. There's a goal to raise $500,000. If we can, and that amount will be matched. And so $250,000, if we can raise that, then that amount will be matched. So for those of you, I believe I have those numbers correct. I'm thinking I have them wrong now.
It's a $500,000 anonymous match if we raise $500,000.
Correct. Okay, so $500,000 match if we raise $500,000. And I believe that they're getting very close to that number. So any help that you could send along, they would greatly appreciate it. Shirley Carter, I talked with her on Friday evening and then also on Saturday at the table setting fair. And so any support would be greatly appreciated. I know they were down and met with the city council down in Princeburg last week as well and made a presentation to them for support as well. Committee meeting dates, Finance.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Finance will meet Monday, the 23rd. We'll be here. It'll be the full council. We will be hearing from the utilities, Rice Hospital, and outside agencies, and then we'll do some housekeeping work to finalize the budget. So 4:45 for everybody here next Monday.
Okay, Public Works, Public Safety.
Tuesday, December 1st, 4:45.
City Hall, correct?
Correct, City Hall.
Labor will be meeting on Wednesday, December 2nd, 4:45 at City Hall. Community Development.
No meeting.
No meeting for Community Development. Entertain a motion to adjourn.
Mayor Kelvin?
Yes.
Just a clarification, we received an email today. I thought we were going to be discussing the city administrator contract.
There has been concern raised on that, and so it has been referred back to the city attorney. The city attorney will be working on that.
Just further clarification of how will we be, I mean, we were given information, so how will we be informed of that, or what's going to happen from here?
The city attorney will be preparing information and sending it out to the full council, I believe.
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, members of the council, I distributed a draft employment contract, obviously, for the candidate that the city council selected to be the next city administrator. I have received a few questions from council members in consulting with the mayor. Recommended that perhaps the contract be brought forward at the finance committee meeting, just an agenda item added to that meeting so that it can be timely approved. The start date identified and the contract with the administrator candidate would be December 15th. That wouldn't change. But just, it would give us a week rather than trying to rush anything through here. Give us a week to try and answer some questions and maybe sort through some of the issues that have been raised.
I'm disappointed to hear that, so thank you.
Entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
We're adjourned.